Hello my beautiful people, welcome to your first ever set of numerology videos with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. As many of you know, I do weekly tarot readings, monthly tarot readings. I also do a numerology live stream each month as well to set you up for the month ahead. Many of you know me from the Life Path series that I put out, which I cannot thank you all enough. Like I'm still actually completely blown away at how popular it's been, how many view counts they have. It's still really strange to me because when I was doing it, I was just doing it as a labor of love. And I've learned so much more since then as well. So don't forget, if you haven't seen it, there is a video that will show you how to calculate your life path number. That will be floating around up here somewhere. There's also a video to help you calculate your personal year number, which is a very important vibration for you to know. So there's also a video for you to find out how to do that as well. Be sure to check those out so that you can really get into these videos and use this information for the best for your, your path ahead for the month. So with that said, if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. If you are a continued subby of mine, you know I absolutely love you, and thank you so much for being a part of the Radiant Reality community. So we get into it. August 2021 is a universal 4-month, right? So some of you are probably like, if you know numerology at least a little bit, some of you are probably like, oh my gosh, here we go. For all of you, you will probably remember, for those of you that have been with me long enough, you will remember the numerology video that I put out at the start of 2020, which was a true 4-year. Lots of people postulate it being a 22. It wasn't a 22 year. I can assure you it was a 4-year. I'm not going to debate that. That's the way that I experience it. That's the way that I feel it was with what I know of numerology. So we're going to get straight into it. So what is 4? I got my trusty notes here. Always got notes. You guys know me by now. So 4 is a slow energy. It's slow, grounded, and determined. It's a number of structure. It's a number of order. And so this month really asks us all to be, or invites us all to work inside the parameters of what we know, of what we understand, what we can do really well. 4 is grounded and practical, and it's structured. This is the order, the energy of order. 4 is all about the manifest world. It's about the tangible, the physical, it's about the material. It's a very slow moving energy. So this month, I mean, which, you know, considering it's Leo season, isn't necessarily a bad thing. One of the things that I really like about this actually is it will allow us to enjoy the summer. It will allow us to just really experience the best of what we can. Providing we don't swim against the tide or try to fight the energy. That's the thing with 4 energy. If you try to force something, it will push back. And as we've already all seen, right, the universal energy is bigger than we are. Now, that being said, I've got here, this can be an amazing month to see results, but can also be a month that requires you to stand firm on what you have promised to deliver. So this is kind of the long and short of it, right? The number 4 is very linked to the energy of integrity, honesty. So whatever you promise you're going to do this month, you're going to have to show up for it. This is why in the month of August, you want to under promise and over deliver. If you do it the other way around, you will be held accountable. 4 and 6 energy tend to be very much like that. Like, you can't get away with throwing a comment out, oh yeah, you know, I'll totally be there and I'll do that. Like, it will hold you accountable. So if you say you're going to do something, be prepared to show up in that way. If you do show up in the way that you say you're going to, the rewards and the blessings can be absolutely wonderful, which is great. Now, 4 energy, I've got to be really honest with you, it doesn't fuck around. So like I said, you've got to be in your integrity, you've got to stand tall, you've got to be honest, you've got to be open about what is possible, what you're prepared to do, what you're prepared to give, and you need to follow through on that. What I will say as well, you've got to come up with the goods, right? If you're planning to do something this month, a solid plan, being organized, those things are going to be paramount for you this month if you really want to get ahead. One of the things that I will say about this energy as well, you got to come up with the goods. If you're planning to cut corners, if you're planning to try to pull the wool over somebody's eyes, or, you know, wing it here and there, it will catch you. And trust me, when 4 energy catches you out, it's usually quite public. So, or at least for you know, for somebody to witness. So if you don't want that experience, you'll have to forgive me, I'm currently melting. It's so hot here in the UK. But hey, I ain't complaining. We've got sunshine. It's good, right? But it will catch you out. So what I've said to everybody is, grab yourself by the boobs or grab yourself by the balls and get on with it. You've got to dig in, you've got to dig deep, and you've got to be prepared to work. That is what this month is asking you to do. It's a powerful energy for getting ahead, absolutely. It can be a month where you can build a very solid foundation for whatever dreams, goals, hopes, wishes you have going forward. So the energy of the number 4, if you've been with me long enough, you'll know I will have said this to you. It can literally be a box where you, like, that holds you prisoner or holds you captive, and it's usually a box of your own making, or it can be a step or a platform to get you to where you want to be next, right? So use that to your best advantage. Now that you have that information, plan accordingly. What the characteristics of this energy are direct, focused, and linear. When you think about a square, it's, you know, it's lines, right? It's straight lines. It is clear. It's defined. It doesn't have, you know, there's nothing wishy-washy. 4 energy is you are either in or you are out. There's no room for, there's room for negotiation based on plans. Absolutely. Based on organization, yes, absolutely. But if you're hoping to wing it, you know, just chuck it in there and see how it goes, no. It's practical, realistic, and grounded, right? So all of these things are buzzwords this month. And if you're the sort of person that's usually like, yeah, you know, I'll just see how it goes, you might struggle this month, especially because the external world is going to demand more specificity from you. All right, so it's determined, disciplined, and dedicated. And it's interesting that those words come up with the 4 energy, because the letter D corresponds to the number 4. So, right, it makes sense. Discipline, determination, you know, dedication, all of these things. It's also a number that provides the energy of drudgery, honesty, and integrity. There's nowhere to hide with a number 4. It's just like a square, right? You know, if one line is kind of bowed or a little bit out, or, you know, goes off at an angle, it's no longer a square. That's why when you think about the energy of the number 4, it's precise. You know, it's precise, it's specific. And this month you have to be those things with yourself and with any of your endeavors. So the questions that you need to ask yourself: are your plans solid? Are you organized? Do you know where everything goes, where it belongs? Do you have a good idea of what the end goal or result actually looks like for you? Do they have weight, or are they pie in the sky? And this vibration is going to highlight that to you this month. So basically buckle up. It's not a bad month. There's no such thing as that kind of energy. It's not whether it's good or bad. It's about how you utilize it and how you internalize and then externalize that information or that energy. So yes, it's going to depend on your life path number, how you approach this. It will depend on your upbringing, your growth, your mindset. It's going to depend on your astrology. It's going to depend on all of these things. But when you think about each one of these systems, tarot, astrology, numerology, you know, energy work, like, they're all slices of what make up the whole you. And so each one of these pieces of information that I give you is giving you a different insight into how things are going to affect you specifically. All right, so with that said, let's get into your personal life path messages. Take care, and I'll see you in a moment. Hello, you beautiful Life Path 1 person. So let's get into your month of August. So what do you need to know about this month? All right, well, the energy of the number 4 is quite at odds with the number 1. So the thing is, 1 is fast, it's dynamic, it's directive and assertive. It's very focused on what is next, getting ahead. Now, the 4 energy shares some of those attributes, but it takes its time. Whereas 1 energy doesn't tend to have any patience. You know, they usually cultivate it over a lifetime. And, you know, and even then, you know, and this is the thing as well. Like, don't get down on yourself, because one of the beauties of being a life path 1 is that you drive yourself just as hard as you expect everybody else to work. There's very much a lead by example energy with the life path 1. So don't let people bag on you. Don't let people, you know, give you any shit for it, because at the end of the day, you are just as tough on yourself as you expect everybody else to show up. It can be, you know, that somewhat you are a little bit impatient or a little bit maybe tempestuous at times, so just consider. So the best way to work with this energy is to get yourself organized. I spoke about this in the beginning part of it, so I'm not going to go over it ad nauseum, but especially for you, give yourself a track, right? It doesn't matter if you want to go from point A to point Z, just make sure you have a solid plan so that if you need to, you can take a detour or you can pivot. 1 energy is all about being direct, assertive, as I've mentioned. It's really going to ask you as well to stick around, to see something through. The thing about 1 energy, it's very good at starting things, starting new things, you know, going in new directions or pioneering directions. But when it comes to actually seeing them through to completion, 1 tends to find that energy from whoever it's connected to or whoever is around them. Which is one of the reasons, as a life path 1, you have to have people that are just as strong and just as determined as you are. So anything that you do that doesn't make you want to see it finished or complete is probably not for you. So this month you need to look at, like, whatever you're doing, whatever's on the table, whatever you're working towards. If you don't feel that innate desire to see it finished or realized, don't bother putting time or energy into it this month. It will just tire you out unnecessarily. So this month you're going to need to find it within yourself to be aware of your motivations. So, you know, and at a deeper level as well, like, what do you want? What actually fulfills you? What makes you feel like you are getting ahead? What makes you actually feel like you are being true to yourself? These things, and getting clear on them this month, is really going to be important to you. Be honest with yourself first and foremost, and that same energy will find you this month. So the more honest you are about what you want, need and desire, the easier life will be for you this month, because you will be acting from that place of integrity, which is very important in any kind of undertaking or energy. And then finally, what I've got here for you is organization is going to be your best friend. Make a plan, create a strategy. Usually the 1 energy is just roll your sleeves up, get in, get stuck in, read the instructions or the manual later. You don't have that luxury this month. Connecting to other people who maybe already have the knowledge and expertise that you need to make something happen would be a really great way to go ahead with that. So in love this month, you need to find ways to keep your relationship fresh this month. But more importantly, when it comes to your relationship, you need to look at the foundations. Is your relationship solid? Is the connection to this person, does it need more work? Does it need more juice? Does it need more excitement, more frivolity even, right? What are you prepared to do about it if the relationship isn't solid? That's going to be a really important question for you this month. If you put hard efforts into your relationship, you'll get them out, absolutely. Be honest about what you want and what you need, and be honest about what you can or can't or won't give to a relationship. If you're looking for somebody new, you're not going to find it in your locality or in your area. You need to look further afield, connect to different groups of people, and or you know, maybe even it could even as well, if you're a life path 1 even, sorry, if you're a life path 1, you could probably meet somebody who happens to be from a very different background, a foreign culture, or a distant land in some way, shape or form. So for your money, in a 4 energy, money can be really really steady, which is great, but it will need to be earned. Like, nothing comes easy with 4 energy. It's kind of like the universe strapping a bag of rocks to your back and saying, right, you've got your destination and you're heading, you're making really good progress, but here's this as well. And what the 4 energy will create for you is an appreciation for everything that you have, because you have to work that much harder for it. So don't be surprised if this is the case. You might feel itchy feet and wanderlust this month, which is totally possible. And if that is the case, build that into your schedule. All right, so if you put hard work and hard efforts in, the money is absolutely there. It's not a stretch to say that this can be a month where the universe cashes out. So for hard work and effort that you've already put in, you could get some results from that this month, which would be wonderful. When it comes to work and the profession, being direct is your usual approach, and leading by example and speaking out on what you expect. This month, the best leader is going to be one who rolls up their sleeves and gets stuck in. So very much like you in that regard. But it's not going to be like this month. You can't just bark orders at people. You got to get in the trenches with them, right? So usually you lead by example, but it's usually so far ahead that it's like, well, I'm here. You saw how I did it. Catch up. This month, you don't have that luxury. You got to roll up your sleeves. You got to go back to the start and say, right, team, this is where we're at. Let's do it. And you do it together. The more you do things like that, the better it's going to be. Realizing that you're in control of nothing, and that there's always a higher power or someone who knows more, someone that's bigger, someone that's stronger, someone that's wealthier. Like, there's always a bigger fish. As long as you keep that in mind when it comes to the work this month, I actually think you could do some really good stuff. Vulnerability and honesty will humanize you this month. If you're honest about how you really feel about stuff, I think this month would be really great for you. So your best steps this month: clear communication, good solid plans, tried and true tested methods, and clearly defined and organized game plan will get you ahead. If you don't have the answer, say so this month. You'll be so surprised how people rally around you when you voice that opinion. Don't embellish this month. Don't wing it. Like I said, you're going to be held accountable for everything this month. Make sure you show up. Your warnings for this month are: don't try to force it or get ahead by cheating, bending the rules or lying. All of those things will catch up with you fast this month, and they'll bite you in the arse in a way that you're probably not prepared to deal with. Just don't do it. Being a life path 1, the chances are that this could be a big fall from grace, especially in Leo season. I wonder if we're going to see that on the wider world stage in some regard. With the sun in the spotlight, in its own sign. So whether you're a Leo or not is irrelevant. If you're a life path 1, you're ruled by the sun. So there's a spotlight on you in some regard this month, right? Because the sun is in Leo. So that kind of energy is shining in some way. So now we're going to look at your new moon and full moon messages for the month ahead. Okay. All right, and we have, for the new moon, you've got the gate 10 and empower. Look at that. So this basically equates to a 1 energy, which is very interesting because that's you. Not only is leading by example really, really important this month, but empowering yourself by being honest, by being vulnerable, by admitting that you don't have the answer. This new moon is really trying to show you that the best you, the most empowering you, is one that is true to themselves, but in and from a place of integrity where they don't need to be anything. It's not putting on a front, it's just being who you naturally are. Your full moon message is the gate 23 and assimilate. So the full moon for you, if you're a life path 1, is basically saying, what is the bigger goal? What is the bigger vision? Have you even put a plan in place to get that sorted? This month, plan your freaking arse off. If you are a life path 1, plan, right? Check in with other people that are experts in the field, because that's what's going to get you ahead this month. If you try to go it alone, if you try to be the If you try to go it alone or try to be the maverick, you're just not going to get where you want to be. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments. Do you love it? Do you loathe it? What did you like? What didn't you? Take care, and I'll see you soon.